Have you ever seen a single moment so tiny, so ordinary, and yet so explosive that it changes everything in front of your eyes? That was exactly what happened when Meghan Markle decided to march onto that stage, completely uninvited, completely unwanted, and absolutely out of place. Picture this. Harry, standing tall, microphone in hand, mid-speech, the audience hanging on his every word. Suddenly, Meghan slips in behind him like a shadow no one asked for. She taps him on the back, forcing him to turn, forcing him to acknowledge her presence. And oh, the look on Harry's face, the startled glance as though he had actually forgotten she even existed at that moment. It was raw, unscripted, and awkward. And then came the twist no one expected. Harry didn't hand her the microphone. Yes, you heard that right. The man who once bent over backwards to give Meghan the spotlight, who once begged an announcer to let her speak on his behalf. This time he gripped that mic tighter than ever. It might sound trivial, just a husband not sharing the mic with his wife, but in this world, every gesture is loaded. And in that one decision, Harry flipped the entire power dynamic right there on stage. The crowd's reaction? Deafening silence? Not applause? Not cheers? Not even a polite murmur. Meghan stood there awkwardly waiting, expecting that familiar rush of adoration, but it never came. She had barged into his moment, and instead of stealing the show, she crashed into indifference. The silence stretched, grew unbearable, and finally, Meghan stormed off. But here's the kicker. If you flipped on your television the next morning, you'd never know any of this happened. Mainstream outlets blasted glossy photos of Meghan smiling by Harry's side, cropped so carefully it looked like a united couple. Hand in hand, picture perfect. What they didn't show was the video, the intrusion, the rejection, the humiliating walk of shame. The footage exists. Everyone knows it. Yet the press refused to air it. Why? Why protect Meghan from her own mess? Why rewrite the story? Because if the public saw what truly happened, it would be undeniable. The cracks in Harry and Meghan's marriage aren't rumors. They're flashing neon signs. And those cracks don't stop at one awkward moment on stage. Oh no, behind the scenes, there's a tug of war bigger and nastier than anyone imagined. Harry's role itself is a disaster of contradictions. Officially, he's not a working royal anymore. His military titles? Stripped. On paper, he's just another celebrity with a famous surname. Yet in Ukraine, when he showed up at government events, officials still addressed him as His Royal Highness. And here's the little detail most people missed. Protocol at state events is strict. They don't just hand out titles by accident. If Harry was styled His Royal Highness, it means someone in Buckingham Palace quietly approved it. So while headlines scream, Harry is out, the palace's actions whisper a very different story. And then comes the strangest twist of all. Reports hint at Harry reappearing alongside King Charles in 6 years. Not 1, not 2, but 6 years. Such a weirdly specific timeline that it almost feels like bait. Are they dangling the promise of reunion to keep Harry and Meghan marketable? Keeping them afloat just long enough for the public to keep watching, keep buying, keep wondering? Because let's face it, the confusion isn't sloppy reporting, it's strategy. One day the press says Harry's half in, half out. The next, he's gone for good. The back and forth is intentional, keeping the Sussexes relevant, keeping their story stretched out for Netflix deals, book sales, and endless speculation. And Meghan, she plays her role perfectly. The woman who barges on stage when she's not supposed to, who smiles for cameras while being shunned in real life, who survives because the media insists on flattering angles. But for Harry, the truth is leaking through. That mic in his hand wasn't just about finishing a speech, it was about control. For the first time, he chose not to surrender the spotlight. For the first time, he stood firm while Meghan tried to overshadow him. And that, right there, may be the clearest sign yet that their fairy tale partnership is fracturing in front of us all. When Meghan stormed off that stage, all eyes darted to Harry. Surely he'd chase her, right? That's what everyone expected. That's what he always used to do. Rush after her, smooth things over, protect her image. But not this time. Harry stood frozen, microphone still in hand, expression unreadable. And that silence, oh, that silence screamed louder than any words he could have uttered. For Meghan, who thrives on being the center of attention, this wasn't just humiliation, it was betrayal. Imagine the sting, ignored not by the crowd, not by strangers, but by the one man who once lived to boost her up. That moment wasn't a slip, it was a statement. Harry didn't hand her the mic, he didn't run after her. He let her walk away. And in Meghan's world, that's nothing short of treason. Behind the curtains, the real fireworks exploded. Sources whisper Harry was fuming, livid that Meghan tried to hijack his spotlight again. To him, it wasn't about a microphone, it was about a marriage where one partner can't help but overshadow the other, even when it's clearly not her moment. Meghan has made it a habit, forcing herself into spaces, knowing no one would dare stop her in public. But this time, she miscalculated. Harry's refusal was no accident. It was rebellion. Quiet, subtle, but sharp enough to cut. And Meghan, she doesn't take rebellion lightly. Whispers say she doesn't just demand control in public, she demands it in private too, even over their children. Once upon a time, Harry dreamed of sending his kids to the UK for schooling, maybe even to Eton, following royal tradition. But Meghan, absolutely not. She blocked the idea at every turn. And here's the chilling part. According to insiders, she attaches conditions, compensation. That's right. She reportedly insists on hefty guarantees before even entertaining the thought of her children setting foot in the UK. It's leverage, pure and simple, a way to keep Harry trapped between his birthright family and the family he's built with her. That's not compromise, that's control. And Harry, for once, seems to be resisting. Slowly, carefully, but unmistakably. So, while the headlines keep everyone dizzy, the truth on stage told a simpler story. Meghan pushing herself where she wasn't welcome, Harry finally pushing back. Those glossy photographs may scream unity, but the unedited footage screams something else. Indifference, rejection, and a marriage unraveling thread by thread. The fallout? Oh, it's only just begun. Because when the cameras go dark, words get sharper, arguments cut deeper, and betrayals linger. Meghan didn't just lose the mic that night. She lost her grip on Harry's unwavering loyalty, and that shift, tiny, silent, but seismic, might just be the beginning of their very public unraveling. When the stage lights dimmed and the cameras cut away, the real drama began. Meghan had stormed off, but her fury lingered in the air like static. Those close to the couple swear the tension backstage was unbearable. Harry, still gripping that microphone in his mind, couldn't let go of what just happened. He was angry. Angry that Meghan had barged into his moment, angry that she once again tried to hijack the spotlight. Meghan, however, isn't afforded that same courtesy. The palace doesn't protect her. The press doesn't revere her. Without Harry, she's vulnerable. That's why every photo op, every stage smile, every carefully edited clip matters so much to her. It's survival. Because the truth, the raw, unfiltered footage, shows the opposite. It shows Meghan ignored, rejected, diminished, and audiences see it too. One witness described the moment perfectly. When she walked on, people didn't know whether to clap or stay quiet. In the end, silence won. That silence was devastating. For Meghan, who thrives on adoration, being met with blank stares was the deepest cut. Worse, the organizers themselves seemed to take note. After her awkward intrusion, Meghan was deliberately kept on the sidelines. She was no longer front and center, no longer the star. It was subtle, but anyone watching closely could see it. Meghan Markle had been benched, and if there's one thing Meghan cannot stand, it's irrelevance. Behind her forced grin, behind the sparkling gown that looked more wrinkled than regal, behind the bright flashbulbs, there was a woman watching her influence slip away. And nothing terrifies Meghan more than losing control. Meanwhile, the media plays its own manipulative game. The contradictions aren't mistakes, they're deliberate. Harry might return in 6 years. Harry is permanently cut off. The headlines flip-flop, not because journalists are confused, but because confusion sells. The longer the question drags out, are they in or out, the longer people keep watching. 6 years isn't random. 6 years is strategic. Long enough to dangle the fantasy of reconciliation. Long enough to fuel book sales, speaking tours, documentaries, and brand deals. The Sussex story is worth millions precisely because it's unresolved. And the palace? They don't mind. The ambiguity keeps the monarchy in headlines while keeping the Sussexes on a leash. But Harry and Meghan's marriage? That's a different story. Actions speak louder than press releases. And the actions we saw were undeniable. Harry didn't follow Meghan. He didn't soothe her ego. He didn't hand her the mic. That silence told us everything. For the first time, Harry is resisting. And Meghan knows it. This isn't just a crack in the facade. It's a fracture running deep into the foundation of their partnership. The glossy photos can pretend otherwise, but the footage, the unedited, unflattering truth, tells us what's really happening. Meghan barged in, the audience rejected her, Harry resisted her, and the marriage slipped further into public unraveling. The ultimate betrayal? It wasn't Meghan against the palace. It wasn't Meghan against the press. It was Meghan against Harry. On that stage, in front of the world, she proved she would rather embarrass him than let him stand alone. And Harry's refusal to play along was his first real act of defiance. So where does that leave them? In public, they'll keep the smiles, the hand-holding, the photo ops. But behind the curtain, the story is different. The trust is broken, the tension is real, and the silence between them is louder than any applause Meghan ever craved. And maybe, just maybe, that night will be remembered not as another publicity stunt, but as the moment their fairy tale finally cracked wide open.